So, this is a long movie, best taken in small chunks. To answer whether the Enneagram offers anything to non-duality, I first need to show how it shows up in people's lives, how each of the 9 personality types affects the seeking journey, and how all the teachers present non-duality. I also want to show you what the Enneagram actually is in the clearest, rawest way possible, which I think the interviews do, and the animations at the very end. Now, there are plenty of reasons not to look at the Enneagram. The worst way to use it is to believe it means you now have something to fix. But what the Enneagram can actually do is show you the mask each human holds up, and how that mask convinces you it's you. When you really see the Enneagram for what it is, you discover it's the part that thought it had to become enlightened, or the part that thought it had to die. Each type's trance reveals how our minds go under a spell, and when that trance is seen clearly, the sense of me often evaporates. What's left is simply what is and life happening. It's also liberating to see how the Enneagram operates in teachers, because we can finally stop thinking that some teacher has it, when what we're really seeing is a spiritualized version of their type. And often, devotees try to mimic their teacher, but of course they can't. They can't even see the same way the guru does. They have different lenses entirely. Now, because the Enneagram reveals the bit we suspect we are or the bit we dislike, it can get uncomfortable when it lands. Every other type is hilarious to watch, except our own. So if you find yourself squirming, that's actually a good sign. I made this 20 years ago. It was my first attempt at film and animation. I threw in terrible effects, questionable music, and way too much enthusiasm. I've since removed most of the music, zoomed in on faces to cut out the flashing words, and generally cleaned it up as best I could. It's not perfect, but the interviews are so revealing. Everyone was brave enough to expose their type. You'll see the parts we usually hide, in a way that's both funny and warm. I hope you find it both funny and enlightening. Because when the illusion of self evaporates, leaving what is as everything, life still goes on, but it's lighter, thinner, richer. Even the messy human stuff. The first type of personality is the one fixation, principled perfectionists with a strong sense of right and wrong. And the sense of self seems like it is there and real because the brain hallucinates separation as being wrong, that they are wrong somehow, and then they project that everything out there is wrong. They step on the treadmill in an attempt to not feel imperfect or wrong, and run as hard as they can toward perfection and getting it right. Things that are correct, like that's the first thing that you see, like that's what you'll notice. Like so does that work for you? And you'll go somewhere and you'll just see what's wrong, or you look around the house and just see what's wrong.
Walk me around the garden and all I see is the weeds. Yes. Let me come into a room and I'll find the spider webs for you. Yes.
I come somewhere, I directly see what's wrong, where there's a mistake or things like that.
Immediately, as soon as I enter any place, any room, or see a person, I can see what's wrong with them. You know, oh, this would be so much better if they changed their haircut, or that person could lose some weight, or in a house, if something's out of place, I rearrange everything in my mind that it could be so much better. And lots of times I've even said something, you know, of course, which has not been appreciated.
There's a real eagle eye for what's wrong, and so that gets focused on. That's why it's a never-ending quest, because there's always something bad to focus on. And you miss out on all the, you know, the perfection.
I still read books today and correct the grammar and the use of language. Don't have a red pen, though.
The common goal with one fixation is just for everything to be perfect.
Yes. It would be nice if you could get there.
And that there's this idea that if everything is perfect, then you could experience serenity.
That's true, yes.
It's really important that things should be right. And there's great intentions, but really it only ever gets expressed as criticism. And it's criticism of myself. I'm just vile to myself. But I'm vile to my partner, and yeah, I'm nice to other people, you know. Because I can do the sort of perfect look and behaviour, because I know what's appropriate. It's a really very stomped-in thing that appropriate behaviour is for, you know, second nature.
One always strived for the best possible. Sometimes it met with approval, and sometimes your best didn't meet with approval.
All your energy goes into keeping it together. And that's what the whole one fixation is trying to keep your little world and the whole world together in this perfect image of how you think it should be. And since you can't do that, you never can relax. And within myself, it's never good enough. So I can't relax there.
Do you find that there's like just this one voice that's like the judge?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like God's voice telling you what's right, what's wrong?
Yeah, and it's totally unquestionable. I never really... It just seems so... Yeah, God's voice, really.
But still, whatever I do, there is a judge, and there is a judge behind this judge, and it can be, if I come to this level, it can be endless. So the only thing, I can stop it, and then it's okay.
The one fixation judges. Like, do you find that you judge others or judge yourself? Or...
I judge myself. I judge myself more, I think, than I judge others.
Yeah, obviously the answer is yes, that she does judge. She judges everything. And there are no shades of grey. Things are either done correctly, that is her view of perfection, or are hopeless. There isn't a shade of grey in between, so that if you do something only 90% correct, you needn't have bothered performing the action in the first place, because the 10% that you haven't performed far outweighs the 90% that you have performed. And so this gives you a lot of performance anxiety in every field that you're involved in.
Is there a tendency to preach to others of how
Oh,
they...
yes. Yes. Yes, I know that because I'm told all the time. Doesn't seem like preaching to me. It seems like trying to help people understand.
Right. How to be better or how to get it right or...
Not how to be better or how to get it right, but how to be right.
Full-blown anger, or is it like irritation, just like...
Oh, I never knew that this fixation ran on anger. I did not realize. Anger? What anger? And it came out in all different ways. It came out as just being irritable, you know. Angry about something would come up like in my voice tone. My husband brought that up for me. He pointed out, he said I sounded like a barking dog. And the commands sort of come out that way, you know. clean up your room and put your toys away, or, with my kids. It's not, could you put your toys away? It's time to put your toys away. And it's in the tone.
There's certainly, there's irritation and really a constant inside. Yeah. But there's not many people I express it to because that would be inappropriate. So my partner gets most of it. Yeah. Wow. Because, he needs fixing.
It seems like ones are gifted with cleaning and being neat and tidy and dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And is that just natural?
It feels good. It feels like the only way that we can control things. It's just the need for the imperfection that's out there. Well, at least we can keep this little spot as perfect as possible, and that's a feeling of control. It feels good, and then you can relax. Once everything's done, then you can relax. It's like, just because the one fixation is a big contraction, bodily contraction. The anal muscles, lots of times I have to remind myself, relax the anal muscles because it's all so uptight. I never knew that. I never realized that. Yeah. It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant. Relax. That's why, a couple glasses, a few margaritas or something is like, oh, yes, I'm here. In a contraction, you're not.
And apparently with one fixation, there can be often it's like a sense that they can relax when they're drinking alcohol. There's kind of like a release.
Yes, that's true, yes. That's what you're always trying to do, ply me with alcohol. I'm a much nicer person when I'm drunk.
She's a much nicer person when she's drunk.
Morally correct is what runs the show. It's a continual battering of the superego. Yeah. Once you let the superego go, you can relax. That's where the relaxation is. And it's not that you're, all of a sudden have permission to do what's instinctively inappropriate, and indulge in that. No, it's just that when the superego isn't there, your natural knowing is there, and you listen to that. What a difference. Then you're not beaten up. Yeah.
And what is it like seeing through the veils of the one fixation when it's not present?
More and more comes this kind of humor in me, and being, laughing about all those things like mistakes that people make, that I make, and that I can really see that it doesn't depend on my view of what is right or wrong. Yeah, it doesn't even depend on what I really think about it. It is okay like it is, and I can be with it. Then I really feel being in the present, and this is the most wanted state for me. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So that was the one lens. And you can see how it helped produce whole religions, especially Christianity and, well, the Taliban. It's all about following the rules, avoiding sin, and chasing some imagined ideal. Only recently the Pope finally ruled, after decades of men debating it, that Mary is not a redeemer of the world. Only Jesus gets that job. They're still arguing over rules built on an old made-up story as if it's literal truth. And that's just one of the more absurd outcomes of the one lens. But of course they can invent endless rules and call it logic. You see the same thing in modern, educated versions of non-duality. I don't know if Rupert Spira is a type 1, but he does use a very one-ish logic, asking people to check whether anything can be experienced without awareness, then concluding that everything must be awareness. I'm not here to fight that point, only to show how every type ends up spiritualizing its own hallucinated lens, and to show how it is when the lens evaporates. Simple beingness. The two fixation is like a performing poodle, very sweet and loving, and will do everything for you. Do you feel that you see others like as maybe sickly or in need of your help, or like you project others as being needy and so then you can be the one to help them?
Yeah, I did that all the time. I could see that people were needy people everywhere, all the time. So it gave me excuse to do all the time something for them.
It sounds exhausting.
Really exhausting.
Started out in childhood offering myself to be the one to make everybody in the family happy. That was my job, to make sure that whenever anybody was upset, I had to offer my services. And I would do that through entertaining or through taking care of or being a good little girl, helping, just helping. And then that translated into every relationship that I've ever had, of being the one to take care of. And then it translated into being a minister. So I get to care for the whole world and have a justified reason. And when I first became a minister, I just worked myself rugged.
Tell me about what you found out about the two.
The two. I must always have love from you. From all people, I must have love.
Are you very loving to other people?
Yes, of course. Because I must have the love from them.
Find it hard to recognize your own needs?
This is the difficultest question for me. In my family, when we make a voyage, a voyage, I make a map for my daughter and a map for my husband, and 5 minutes before we will go, I said, oh, what is for me? Perhaps one book, quick. Yes.
Under that vulnerability, is there like the worthlessness?
Oh yes, there's the worthlessness, like I don't deserve to have my needs met.
Do you want to tell me about worthlessness?
It's really something I was used to that. It was like part of my life, or like evident. So what to tell you more about that?
How did it feel?
Oh, very bad. Very bad. Yeah.
And what did you then do to not be worthless?
Oh, I had to please everyone and to try hard to find out what you need and what I can do for you. And before even you ask me to do something, because it was, just to see before, it was like a leisure to know for everyone. Oh, and I was really sure that you will need me for something, and I will be the only one to know what is good for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm. What about the pride of the two?
Oh, actually it took me times to see the pride, because for me there was no pride. No, everything was so natural, so no pride. But now I can see it very well. So everything was whatever I do is special, so I should be proud of it because I can do it better because I know what is good for the others and how to please much more better than the others. So I'm proud of it.
Do you find that you've done that a lot in the past?
Oh, I'm a master at it. I'm a master at it, at giving advice. Well, I'm a minister, I'm a counselor, all these things. And I've set up roles for myself to where I'm bona fide to give advice, so to speak. And so I really have to watch myself because whenever there's a conversation going on, it starts automatic. Oh, yes, and if you could. And so being mindful of that, I catch myself at it now. And although sometimes it's out before I know it, oh, there it is. But yet it's just because after all, I have such full life experiences. I've traveled many paths and I know so much. Of course I have good advice to give.
And what about the flattery side as well? That sort of like...
Oh, well.
Do you find yourself flattering people even if you don't actually really feel that way? Like you might admire someone's outfit, but you actually don't think it's particularly nice, but you feel like, oh, it'll make that person feel good.
Yes. And because I want to connect with them. And so the flattery for me comes out of this insatiable desire to connect and relate. And so like even where I go to work out, I'll look around the room and think, now, what could I say to any woman in the room to just brighten her day? And then I realize, oh my God, that's flattery. And yet sometimes there is this authentic like offering. And so I'm discerning that razor's edge of when it's flattery to make you feel good so that then you'll love me, or when it's truly just something being given out of the authentic love that I feel, or adoration or admiration that I feel for a person.
An example of what sort of advice you would give?
Maybe if someone is not well, I will come and say, oh, did you try that? Because maybe it's good for you, or maybe if you want me, I can do that for you, or maybe first I'm going to ask, and then I will find out a good advice about what is missing or to fix, because really what's important is to fix. If you're suffering, you need help, not to suffer.
And what is it like now that you've seen through the veils and can be at ease with who you really are?
So what I can say now, that it's love appears in my life instead of pretending of that or playing of fake love. So it's a lot of relief and peace and not trying to do anything to be loved anymore. And anymore, I will say most of the time, and just to see that love can be everywhere.
And how is it now that you've seen through the veils of the two fixation and it doesn't have to drive your life anymore?
It's so entspannend, so relaxed. So relaxed. And I must laugh about so many. Where I found what a fixation I am, I must so laugh. 2 hours, I must only laugh. Thank you.
So that was the two. And you can see how loving and giving and sacrifice becomes a solution to hallucinating the self as worthless. A positive aspect of this lens would be the idea of charity, of helping others. Mother Teresa is thought to have been a two, maybe even the woman Amma. She went round the world, grasping everyone into her ample bosom, growled a mantra and thrust them away to do the same to the next person. For a two, sacrificing their own needs is felt as the way to salvation, but as a strategy it doesn't really work, and the person ends up feeling resentful. But a lot of people want that bhakti path. They imagine melting into love itself. They imagine God is love. They just need to figure out a way to be the best slave on the planet, so they turn into their love god. Yet once that whole trance evaporates, love is naturally present. This is Clicquot, named after the French champagne Veuve Clicquot. She's a designer dog, a cockapoo spoodle. With that image and success, she's a 3 fixation. Talk about being able to charm everybody, and have you found that you're able to do that, just charm people? And
yeah, as I said, I can put up a mask so I can seduce you, it's I know what you expect of me, so I perform that, so then you like me.
Talking style. Selling yourself, like promoting yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talk about what you have done, and I've been very surprised sometimes when coming to the job interviews, how good I am, even my worst side is so beautiful to listen to. It's like, you can seem so convincing, because again, you know what to say, you know what you like to hear, and in that way.
It's like talking about what you do, and how does that work? How does it?
Well, I'm great, I interview really well because I'm just good at saying what I'm good at. At this point in my life, there isn't as much deceit in it because I'm also willing to say, here are some things I'm not really good at. Or, and so, but I always start with what I'm good at, and it just comes naturally. I had an interview last week, and it's like, oh, well, I can do that really well. And people believe it, and it's usually true. But, and so selling myself in that way comes pretty easily.
Like so many people want to be a 3 or look like a 3. Have you just always found that you just knew how to dress or knew how to impress?
Yes.
How to dress for success and look successful?
There's a little bit twist to that, I think, because you dress, at least for my fixation, you dress what is appropriate to what you think is best in the situation. So if you could go to an ashram, you dress like an ashram. If you go to a business, you dress like a businessman. Yeah. If you should dress casual, you try to dress as casual as you can. So you're always trying to fit what is appropriate in the environment, and then that way be accepted but a little bit better than the others.
Tell me about this cuticity that you all seem to have. Like, how does that work? You're just like naturally born, looking cute and have beautiful taste and can present, yourself as being beautiful or with the right image. Is there just like this sort of canny knack for?
Yeah, I don't know that we're cute. I think maybe 2s are cuter. But the knack to just, we think we have good taste.
But like this young face, a young face, you sort of look,
Yeah, I don't look 53. Thank God.
I mean that, in that sort of way of cute, there's often like a baby face that doesn't seem to sort of get older or...
Yeah. Well, I think it really helps when you don't have emotions for a while because you're not using up your face.
The image of the 3, it's an image point, and there is such a polished look often with threes. Is that just... And you do have this cute baby face that's...
It's true.
It's not rough and ready, but it's, you know, it's a cute, charming...
It is.
And you know how to, like, dress.
It's all about fitting in. And so a lot of threes that I know are very good at adjusting to whatever situation they happen to be in.
Everything's a show. Yeah. It's like always trying to be what is expected in the environment. So always changing what is appropriate to the situation. So you can like me for what I'm doing.
So is that very important, what you do?
Yeah, that's like me for what I'm doing. And it's a kind of competition all the time as well, to be best in whatever I do. So you always find an excuse in your mind that you didn't fail, I didn't fail.
So, yeah, it was just time to move on.
Yeah, things happen and it was not my fault, but I had a good time for a while and now it's time to go on.
Work especially hard, like harder than everyone else, to be at the top of your game.
Yeah. You always have to work. Even in talking about enlightenment, or this is like always a book to read, always something to do.
Yeah.
In order to improve yourself, to get better, to compete and to win in the end. Yeah. To win the enlightenment first prize. And with fixation, it can be like you should be the best in fixation as well, or like know most about fixation. And it's like.
Was there deceit in maybe you believed your own story of success, and then it's easy to sell to others? And is that the place of deceit?
Yeah, you know, I've always prided myself in telling the truth. And so I didn't relate to it in the beginning until I realized it was my whole life was a deceit. And it wasn't as much deceiving others, although I know I've done that, but as much as deceiving myself about what I want. I never wanted to be in business. I hate business. But whoa, I read an article in Cosmopolitan that said MBA was the new thing and there weren't women MBAs. And you know, they were getting out of school and making a lot of money. And so I convinced myself that that's something I wanted to do. And it wasn't. And then I convinced myself that this was the man I wanted to marry. But it was a deceit because I didn't really feel love or passion or any of those things. I just appreciated his threeness and efficiency and how intelligent he was. And I knew he was going to be successful. And so, you know, when I looked back, it was deceit all the way. Not the job I wanted, not the husband I wanted, not the friends I want. You know, there was really nothing that really came from my heart. And so that was the huge deceit, and I paid a price for it. I was miserable. Even though on the outside it all looked really perfect, which made it even harder to, you know, even admit to anyone how miserable I was, because it looked like I had the perfect marriage and the perfect house and the summer house and all the material things, and I did. I had everything I had set out to get, and I was miserable.
Tell me about the efficiency of the three. Do you find that you are incredibly talented at multitasking and unlike others that probably wouldn't do so well, that you can actually multitask and achieve very effectively? Is that a talent you have?
Yeah, I mean, the way it occurs for me is just what's the quickest way to get from point A to point B, and it sort of materializes almost immediately what that is. How can I save time here? How can I save time there? What's the bottom line? There's a real rush from having having 3 or 4 balls in the air at the same time, everybody thinks you're paying them their full attention and you're doing everything. You know, there's a real, there's a rush that comes from that.
How does efficiency work? Do you find that you just can multitask and get everything done that you need to, everything on your goal list?
Oh, yeah. You know, when I have a list, everything gets done and it gets checked out. And I'm very efficient. Not so much that I can do 4 or 5 different things at the same time, but I like to focus on one thing, but I can figure the best way to do things, you know. But the challenge that used to be anyway is that the heart shuts down. When I'm efficient and I have a task to do, I just become this robotic, have to get the job done. No one counts, no one matters. Get out of my way or I'll kill you. You know, that was the energy. So the suffering isn't in, and this is why it's so hard. This is why there aren't many 3s on, you know, at least the spiritual path I've seen. It's because you are getting everything you've wanted to, and society is supporting you because, you know, you really look like you have it all. You know, this is everyone's dream. And so, you know, everyone's admiring you, and there isn't anything out there telling you that there's something wrong. But your heart is, you know, because you actually don't like the work you're doing. You know, every morning before I went to work, I would vomit because I was just so tense and nervous and just wanting to make it through another day. And so it's the self-betrayal of, you know, what are you giving up for this stuff? You know, are you marrying a man you don't love? You know, are you doing a job you really hate? Are you staying with an abusive boss? Are you, you know, just all the betrayals? Are you giving up on having a life because you're working 24/7 and you don't get to see your friends and you don't? And so it's really hard because inside you're depressed and you're miserable and you don't even feel you have the right to be because you've gotten everything you ever wanted. And the whole world thinks that this is it and is striving for it. And so, oh, there must be something wrong with you if you've got everything you set out to get and everything everyone wants and you're not happy. And I remember once thinking, well, if the whole world thinks I'm happy, does it matter what I think? And oh my God, that is so reversed. It's like it doesn't matter what the whole world thinks.
And to now to have seen through the fixation, and what's that like in comparison?
It's such a nice. I discovered that not so many, a long time ago. It was like just to have a cup of tea, and not doing it for anything, but just have an easy time, you know. And to not needing to please or to do or achieve. It's such a relief, you know.
So that was the 3. They're the ones who run success seminars, write success books, and sometimes even claim success itself is proof of God's favour. If they're into Buddhism, they might proudly announce their 5 certified degrees in how to successfully use Buddhism to calm the mind, as if enlightenment were a trophy. Reaching oneness becomes their ultimate success story, until their inevitable human fallibility shows up. But don't worry, they quickly reframe that too. Ah yes, this was the universe teaching me about failure, and the whole ordeal becomes the next best-selling book. A classic public example would be Deepak Chopra. Even his own son made a documentary pointing out the inconsistencies he saw. America, in many ways, is a Type 3 country, the home of marketing, side hustles, reinvention, and a relentless positivity gloss. They've elevated spin, self-promotion and propaganda into high art. Outsiders look on, wondering why no one calls out the obvious contradictions. But when you've been raised inside the 3 lens, it all feels normal. And of course, Plenty of Americans aren't 3s. They're just raised to believe the 3 approach is the ideal, and if they're not competitive or crushing it, they're made to feel like failures. Actual 3s, when they finally encounter the Enneagram, or as you saw in the video, often feel real relief. There's a sense of ease in being honest, in simply being. For years, I genuinely thought I was a 4. I even gave a pretty convincing performance of being a 4, so I left that bit in the film. And as you'll probably discover, most people, especially teachers, can spend years parked in the wrong group, until one day it finally clicks. Happy, next minute, miserable. 1 minute, you're just seeing beauty, next, ugliness. How common everything is, how disappointing life is. Feel bitter, envious, ashamed, hate yourself. What would you like to be special in or unique?
Everything.
Everything. Like specially beautiful, specially the artist, or specially creative.
Yeah, so whatever the field is that I'm moving in.
You want to be special and like unique somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like really, I mean, you know, it's true that mediocre or ordinary is like a swear word, you know? It's like that's the last thing you'd want to be.
Yeah, common and average.
Yeah, common, right. Average, it's like, yeah, it's like, and then, you know, it's rather, you'd rather be like the worst or the best, but anything in between is like, that doesn't really exist.
You yearn for what's beautiful and artistic, and then you have to deal with this sort of common, crass, totally disappointing world.
Strong yearning to be seen as what I am, and yeah.
And are you special? Do you have like special talents that you
Of
feel
course.
help you to be special?
Oh yes.
Yes.
So I'm a musician, and this is one way to live this. Yeah.
And do you find that you like yearn for things and then you get them and then you don't want them anymore?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, of course, you know, it's like, certainly for one thing, it's like, because they are not fulfilling, but also this, like once I have it, it can't be any good anymore, you know?
I mean, it starts with this feeling of melancholy. So that's always a good thing. When I notice this, mostly it's too late then. And I also find I can dwell in this. Actually, I love it in a way. It's such a weird addiction. Yeah, I can cry for a long time. This brings relief.
Lost and abandoned. How does that work?
Lost and abandoned.
Lost and abandoned. The lost and abandoned princess.
How does that work?
Do you ever feel lost or sort of like become
Yeah.
spacey and it's like you're lost in life? Or
Yes, certainly there's that, and certainly that's, I mean, that's the avoidance, and that's what definitely is avoided most, and that self-hatred driven perfectionism and all of that beating up on myself is still a way of avoiding that then, because all of the hysteria and everything, all the drama of suffering still seems better than feeling lost somehow. Because that's like, you know, it's like it's in both senses that I see of that word, you know, it's like lost in the sense of a hopeless case of no return out of that black hole of despair, and also lost in this sense of like, whew, you know, this swirling, swooning, you don't know up or down anymore.
It's a lot of effort just to get up off the couch. All those emotions just weigh you down. How can you achieve anything when you've got to battle the emotions first? Get yourself into the right mood. Overcome this awful shame and ugliness and disappointment. Put on your makeup and face the day.
Fours tend to look at their life through a bit of a tragic, like they see it as a bit tragic.
Yeah, my life's been an absolute tragedy. It's been a horrible tragedy. And it's been, when my wife died, it was like, it was the end of the world. And before she died, it was the end of the world. And
yeah, so I'm not talking about the actual tragedy, but even when there isn't a tragedy happening, there's this sense of tragedy.
It's a tragic projection through my life where life gets put onto an extreme edge where things can go fucked very quickly, and life can become very black, severe, very quickly, and my mind will paint that picture.
Well, I guess what I forgot to mention was that there is this tragedy. What I did say was that it's like either I'm the best or I'm no good at all. But also there is this tragedy of being only second best. You know, rather than being second best, you know, it's like the tragedy of failing at being the best and I'm only second best. And it's like, that's kind of like a red thread throughout my life, you know, that I get to be second best at almost everything I do. And it's like, you know, it's experienced as a tragedy and a failure.
So how is it that you feel about other people who, like a third or last on the list?
Well, they
you
don't
probably
really
don't
register.
They don't register.
I mean, that's the arrogance in the unworthiness, you know.
Yeah,
it's like, but of course, I mean, the deep sense of it is that I'm not good enough, and I need to make up for that, and I need to compensate. And then the focus is so totally concentrated on needing to make up for that nothing else even registers.
Did we speak about style at all? Because I was thinking that's such a thing for fours. You know,
that's all there is. That's all that matters.
Is it stylish? Is it beautiful? Is it artistic?
Yeah, it's like if I have to go under, at least it has to be stylish, you know?
Because I don't even mind mess as long as it's stylish mess.
Yeah.
And it's in a good colour range, or it's... Yeah. What is it like having seen through the veils of the four fixation and when it's not here? What's that like? To not have it running your life.
It's joy. It's happiness.
Like there isn't that gnawing sense of lacking and needing and deficiency.
And freedom. You live. So So that was the Fours, yearning, longing, feeling flawed, yet somehow destined to be special. It's all built on that hallucinated sense of being separate and uniquely different. You see this pattern in plenty of spiritual figures. The slow motion walking, the ethereal music, the mountain backdrops, the thrones, the flowing silks, all signalling, I am very, very special, while simultaneously teaching everyone else not to cling to identities. It's a whole aesthetic. Think of the old school guru culture, Siddha Yoga, Gangaji and many others, where the presentation leans heavily into chosen lineage and mystical uniqueness, an entire world built onto being extraordinary. From the outside, it looks like oneness is reserved for the special ones, or at least for those who can recognise their specialness. People often try to emulate it, imagining the guru's ethereal vibe is proof of divinity rather than a personality structure. But when you understand the Four lens, you stop romanticising it. Underneath all that velvet and incense is the fear of being ordinary, common, forgettable. Life becomes a battle between ugly versus beautiful, mediocre versus special. So when a Four has a spiritual experience, it can easily become their personal enlightenment, something they have. There's barely room for anyone else in that drama, except perhaps a circle of devoted students keeping the throne polished. The Five fixation is a bit like an owl. They keep to themselves, hidden from view. But they're watching.
The Five is longing for knowledge, to be safe, there's this black hole inside, and if you know enough, then it's safe.
It's a mental fixation. Fives really believe in the power of the mind. It's like having a muscle in the mind. And I think all those mind arts Fives are really good at. I remember doing Aikido for a short time, and I was really great because it was like the mind could put all the strength into the movement or the body, and it was, yes, I could do things that I was quite astounded about. So there's a muscle in the mind. And the Five have this thing about it'll work. They have to get it with the mind. So that's why they're good with books. If you get the right book, then you've really got it. So that's why we're associated as bookworms.
There's a constant thirst for knowledge and just absorbing knowledge and facts and details, and that is so easy. I mean, it's like, say that the Five's aware of this black hole, it's like all the knowledge just goes straight in. But it can be spewed out again at any time. With all these facts and details. And,
yeah, the speaking style is treatise, isn't it? And it's...
Yes, that's when all the facts and the details come out. Great long, sort of endless facts and trivia and knowledge and what have you. I mean, I could bore you all to death about half a dozen subjects at least. Knowing everything in the minutest detail.
The talking style of treatise, it's, once I talk to you and I present you some facts, then I don't have to show what's going on with me. It's like, I talk about facts and I don't have to show up. I don't have to say how I feel and, getting on all this emotional stuff, like getting clear about, the facts. That's a way of hiding behind the the facts.
Yeah. And how does it feel now, showing up and not having to hide?
Beautiful. So beautiful. Once you know there's nobody there, it's, so where shall I hide, Who is there to hide?
Like, do you like being the fly on the wall, able to observe?
Yeah, I mean, that is the natural tendency, is to want to be just on the outside and just watch, observe.
What about withdrawal? How does that work?
Withdraw?
Yeah. Like, what would you want to withdraw from?
Well, withdrawing is like, sometimes from deep contact with people, if it gets too much, or somebody's, like demanding, emotional demanding, I start to withdraw a little bit, and I see that very clearly in me. And although there's this longing for contact, but if it's sometimes, from time to time, there's this, in the fixation, there's this, I have to retreat, otherwise, I get exhausted about that.
Yeah. How is it when you're on your own?
When I'm alone?
Yeah.
Wonderful. I can.
You could spend hours there, days, months.
Months, days, yeah.
The 5 just goes into a focus, a total focus, and that feels appeasing. And it keeps everything else out. Because the 5 can actually read a book like in a hypnotic trance state, and you can't hear the kids screaming around you, and you can't hear what's going on. It's a real going away from the world.
Do you feel dissociated from your body? Like, or did you? Like, you felt like you were in your head more and
Yes.
the body wasn't important?
For me, body was always a point of worrying. When I had a blister somewhere, a bubble, this is the beginning of, some serious thing.
Yeah.
But it's always, having problems in the future. It's but I sense myself more in the mental, in the head.
A few 5s say that, like that they're concerned for their health.
Yeah.
There's a real...
That's the same for me.
It's almost like the body is weak, and so you've really got to protect it.
Yeah.
And it's very sensitive.
Yes.
Do you feel that your nervous system is more sensitive than anyone else's?
Yes, yes. Nervous system's like a shock. It feels like it's shattered, like a pane of glass. Or a comment or a criticism that goes too deep. It feels like a brick going through a pane of glass, and it all shatters and falls to bits. And there's nothing you can do to pull it back except go away, isolate, and wait for it to recoalesce. That's the vulnerability of the nervous system. And the vulnerability of the skin is what's coming at you is abrasive. It's abrasive to begin with. A comment that other people, would just run off like water off a duck's back. A 5 will absorb it, and it'll go in and it'll hurt. But the skin, yes, I'm allergic to sunlight, so I always cover my skin. Last night I was sleeping in a hotel bed, so I thought it took about half an hour for me to get urticaria, a skin rash, because it was a foreign bed and someone else washed the sheets or something. Took me about half an hour to get a good dose of urticaria.
I mean, the bodily sensations are almost unpleasant. That comes to the negative emotions as well as the positive emotions. Excitement is almost unpleasant as well. So everything gets dampened down. And emotions get shut off, and you go off into your head and just spinning in thoughts. If the body wasn't necessary to keep the brain working, I'd be quite happy just to have that much of me and do away with the rest of the body. Which I'm not too far off that.
course, the fixation is automatic. So it still requires a lot of vigilance. But just knowing that it's only fixation, it's only habits. The habits are a defense mechanism based on nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's nothing to protect. And that was a huge relief, yes. The Enneagram was, for me, the moment of enlightenment. It was just revelation. I had studied psychology for years and years and years. And that was it in a nutshell. Yeah, that was a revelation.
And what's it like to see through the veils of the five?
Oh, it's beyond words. It's just, yeah, it's I'd say a relief. It doesn't really say it well enough. It's just to let go of all that and just to be. No need for anything. Just, yeah, it's everything's here already.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
I'm still shaking inside.
So that was the five. My group. We come with a flavour of subversive humour, and we're generally not the guru type. Ironically, the very thing fives have been avoiding, the nothing, the void, is exactly what the five trance dissolves in. We try to fill that emptiness with knowledge, convinced that information will somehow deliver us to oneness. But knowledge isn't alive, and oneness is both aliveness and nothingness. The five mind lives in the right hemisphere's labelling function, categorising, analysing, naming everything, and in doing that it quietly creates separation. It reinforces the sense of someone here who is conscious and who knows things. With that trance running, oneness always seems to be somewhere else. Meanwhile, the whole thing is just a trance, and trances aren't made of anything at all. A well-known example of the five fixation would be A.H. Almas. He makes enlightenment sound like quantum mechanics with footnotes.
That to me is the biggest, for me personally, is the biggest thing about the six, is the not feeling safe ever. Now, until recently, I've never felt safe. I remember when I was like 4 or 5 years old at a family picnic, which was really a nurturing picnic. You know, it was really like a loving picnic, and I felt enormous fear. And I didn't write down. I still really remember this, like 4 or 5 years old. And I was really feared life. I was scared of life, and I didn't know why. I said, why do I have this fear? I didn't understand what was happening, because there was nothing to be afraid of, yet I had it. And that's really, to me, the six in a nutshell, is this enormous fear of life, and without knowing why. And that's what's haunted me for my whole life.
I remembered I was a very, very fearful child, and from the age of 10 perhaps I decided to hide it, and I worked very hard to get strategies to hide all this fear, but now I can feel it again, and it's everywhere. It's driving me through my life, to the whole life.
There's
a constant checking for what's going on, and is this situation safe? With people especially. Is this person someone safe? If they're not, then I will avoid this person. If they are someone who, I feel is safe, then there will be efforts to make a connection. So it's all about staying safe and secure.
It's like you're always watching your back. There's just a guard that's always there it's designed to protect you, but it gets really overused. Most of the time it's actually not necessary.
I would say the driving force on the bottom of the six, really the bottom of the six actually is a kind of a hysteria about father's love. The six feels like it never had the essential like owner's manual transmitted to them from like a father figure that said, here's how you do life. And so the sixes gets kind of plugged into this terrifying world, and really no one ever told it how to do life. But the six actually essentially is extremely competent being. Like if you know all the sixes, they're the ones that really know how to get things done.
That's right.
And yet,
incredible organisers, great with detail.
Yeah, and yet there's a push behind them to actually push themselves out into the world to get to do what they have to do. But meanwhile, behind there's a sense that I really don't know how to do this because no one taught me. And they're looking for someone to teach them.
Do you feel insecure? Do you feel unsure?
Well, insecurity absolutely drove my life as a child. The only thing I ever wanted or ever said to anyone was, do you love me? But now I've understood, having worked through it, actually what I was saying was, will you be the one to kill me or not? That was the depth of the fear.
Tell me about the six's desire for safety and security and that ideal of...
Well, that's what runs the show. I mean, it's all about staying safe, making sure that you stay alive.
Yeah. And what do you do to stay safe?
Well, the main strategy is really being friendly to people, because they're all after me. I mean, if it comes down to really the end, it's they want to kill me. So it's really trying to keep them from killing me. And of course, in the social interaction, it's not actually that they want to kill me, but still I have to make sure that they like me, that I know what they're up to, that what they want from me, so that it's not too much because I want to please them, but really for myself, so that I can feel well and safe.
It's really about safety. I want to read you, to know what you want so that I can have a comfortable, safe relationship with you. That's how. And it's not really so you'll love me, it's so that I can be safe around you and feel the love that way. That's kind of more my experience of it. Because once I feel safe, I can feel love.
The warm six is all about being safe, and you're safe by being warm and loving, nice. People always say he's a nice guy, and I actually hate it now when I hear that, but he's a nice guy. So you want to be nice, because if you're nice, you expect people to be nice back to you. Again, it's like it plays into loyalty, So you expect back what you give, So if you're nice and warm and loving, everyone else is. You expect that to get that back, and then you're safe. And it's times where it's good to be nice, And what I'm seeing now is I'm actually going to the other extreme of telling it like it is, really, and I'm actually having lots of fun more fun than I ever had doing that, being honest, you know, as opposed to being nice just to be nice, which is phony, you know. So it's a lie.
Do you do lots of like things that I would find
Dangerous
scary,
things?
like dangerous things, like skydiving and swimming with sharks, or
No,
mountaineering, or?
I do a little bit of climbing, but not really the dangerous kind. It's more the kind of thing that when I feel fear, I go there, because I don't want it to be. I don't want it to limit me. You know, I'll use it. It's just like a signal. Oh, there's fear, so try it.
Right. Wow.
And when I'm skiing, for instance, then I like to ski dangerously. I usually do it fast, and usually during the season I get some bad falls, but never had an accident. But you know, that kind of thing, yes.
And we had doubt works. Like, what's this mental voices?
Yeah, there's many of them.
Telling you what to do, telling you shouldn't have done things.
Yes, yeah, it's a constant doubting and judging of your actions, whatever they may be. There's a constant doubting of what you're doing and where you're supposed to be, and wanting to know what to do, and not trusting the inner, the intelligence, the natural intelligence, because you're out of touch with it, and living in a tiny little space somewhere up here.
How does doubt work? Like, they talk about the six being a very mental fixation, and it's like mentally active, like two voices, you know, arguing. To do this, to do that.
It can be more.
More
It
than
can
two
be a
voices.
whole chorus of voices, imaginary voices talking to me, and you know, even doubting the doubt. You know, I have one idea, or I said something, or I did something, and immediately there can be a voice doubting that, and then there can be another voice doubting the doubting voice. So this is an endless game, which you can really drive yourself crazy with.
Yeah. How does doubt work? Like they say, that's the driving force. You know, there's this. Should I do this? No, I better do that. And I'll ring up everybody, ask their advice, but then you doubt that their advice is any good. So it's like, is it like a voice in your head that comes in? How does it work? Like, is there a fear and then...
Yeah, absolutely. The thing that happens is I make a decision, and then I recognise that I've taken the step to make the decision, which is like coming out and being powerful in making the decision. And then fear arises, and so doubt that I could have made the right decision, because fear has arisen. Fear arises, my mind gets active, and then the decision is doubted. Right. If fear doesn't arise, I can make decisions and doubt doesn't happen. But fear arises very easily, and particularly if it's like you've got to make the decision, then and then I can't. Once that, then there's just too much doubt. It's just straight away jamming against itself.
Doubt is a mask over fear. So you doubt that you're afraid to make a decision because you're afraid of making the wrong one. So you doubt everything. You doubt, and plus we're mental, you know, so we're always in our heads. And so we'll spin forever trying to figure out what to do. And that's a doubt. And that really is playing it safe, because if you keep spinning in your head, figuring out what to do, you don't do anything. And then if you don't do anything, you know, you're not going to, it's safe not to do anything. So you're so afraid that you try to figure out the right thing to do to stay safe. You know, and that's the doubt. The doubt is what's the best move I can do so I can be safe. And then you doubt your decision, you know, so you can think for days on stuff, you know, and not do anything.
Yeah. But then be exhausted because you're just...
Oh, yeah. Totally exhausted. I used to have so much tension from the spinning.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Tell me about the language style is setting limits.
Language?
Well, the talking style.
The talking style of a 6.
Setting limits. Is there like a better way of putting that? Because that, you know,
Is that the talking style?
That is the talking style.
You
Setting
sure?
limits. Yep. It's setting limits.
Wow.
So is it kind of like keeping things contained or keeping things? It's like.
I'm not sure actually. Setting limits. I didn't realize that was the talking style.
Yeah, which is a bit more hard one to get around.
That is. I mean, I can set
hard one to
limits,
explain.
but I don't see it as a talking style. Like I said, if my friends, when I was younger, like they'd want to go out, and I say, well, you know, I need to be home by 11. You know,
Well, that's like setting a limit. It's
that's
like
setting limits. Yeah. So I don't.
So that's setting limits. It's like, yes, I'll go out, but the limit is I'll come back at 11.
Exactly.
Or the limit is
we'll
I've got
do
to
this.
have my
We'll do this for
money on me, or I've got to.
Yeah, or like, you know, we'll do if you're in a relationship or something like we'll do this for 2 weeks and see how it works out, and then we'll reevaluate. Yeah, it's like setting.
So it is setting limits. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. So it's like that. You know, you want to, and it's playing it safe. You set a limit so that you won't. It's really all about being safe, so you won't push it. So you want to take a chance. You know, you don't want it to be wide open because wide open is scary.
To have seen through the veils now.
It's just amazing to, it's just beautiful to know the possibility, because then you really can't move into lasting doubt.
Is it now that you've seen through these different veils and you can recognise it's kind of like the way the body-mind stream works, and it's not who you are, and
I get caught sometimes, but essentially it's just beautiful to be alive and beautiful to live.
What breaks it is in knowing myself as silence, and in knowing that every time there is mental activity, it's usually the avoidance of fear. So to just see any kind of story arising, and knowing that if there's a story arising, you can check if there's an emotion. As soon as you come back to feeling and returning to resting in the heart, there's nothing going on. So the check is that if you return to your heart, return to love, there's nothing going on. There's nothing going on.
Okay, so that was the sixes. They're complex creatures because they can be both phobic and counterphobic, meaning some run from danger and some sprint straight at it. And they often have a hard time recognising themselves as sixes because, well, they doubt they're a six, and then don't see that doubting as the very evidence that they are a six. What makes it even trickier is the subtype layer. Self-preservation, social and sexual sixes all look wildly different from each other. I'm not going into subtypes in this already overlong documentary, so you're safe for now. But I am going to show you a small film I made years ago, the Enneagram types as dogs. Terrible voiceovers by me, please don't judge, but I was teaching, not producing high-end art house cinema. In the dog film, you'll spot the 3-6 subtypes, which should help you see the differences more clearly, and hopefully help you work out your own flavour.
I'm a one dog, and I like perfection, punctuality, politeness, proper and appropriate manners, and etiquette. Oi, get it right, girl, get it right. Oh, I just love giving. I'm always giving advice and flattering everyone, and maybe just a little bit of flirting too. I'm a 3-cat, and I'm here to tell you all a girl needs in life to be successful is a fur coat and cash. It's cash. Love the cash. I love success. I love the cash. Even though there are at times I am a upbeat and a happy, I also have my downer time. I'm called dramatic, but you can have no idea of the depth of feeling I experience. Did you know virtually no bonds exist between gas molecules so that gases can spread into any available space? This is fascinating. I want to know more. I'm sure you want to know more. No. I am a little anxious, I am. I am a little bit nervous. I try to be friendly with everyone, that way I won't get attacked. You're not going to attack me, are you? Oh, yes, gotta get the stick, gotta look after the master, gotta do my responsibilities, gotta look after the team, gotta organise the family. Everyone will be safe now, everyone will be safe. I'm a sexual six, sleek, athletic, strong, good looking. No wonder you see me in all the Hollywood action movies, when danger is my middle name. I'm a 7, and I love everything our life has to offer. I want to try everything. I love this. Oh, this is so fun. Oh, I can't commit to one thing. Oh, which one's next? Which one's next? Oh, for f***'s sakes. F***ing hell. Lazy leaning on me. F***ing shit of a day. F***ing flea. I'm a 9, and most I like to be comfortable. I'm very friendly and I don't like trouble. I'll do anything to avoid saying no. No, I don't like trouble. No.
In most spiritual circles, the crowd is largely made up of 6s. They're anxious, they're looking for someone trustworthy, and they want an authority they can finally relax around. They ask a lot of questions, endlessly, and nothing truly puts their fears to bed. So they look for enlightenment in gurus and non-duality teachers, many of whom are 8s or 9s, who can't see through the 6's lens at all. And 6s don't realise it's their own lens creating the sense of someone here who's separate and afraid. It feels so real that they assume only a powerful teacher or an awakened authority can rescue them. But when that trance evaporates, what's left is simple beingness, no threat, no division, no specialness. And in that, the need for an authority figure disappears completely, along with the need to present as anything different from what they already are. This is my neighbour Elvis, and he's a party dog. His best friend is Oliver. They both have a full social calendar because their owner has a 7 fixation. If I ever need a laugh, I go next door.
Famous joke is this wee Glaswegian man, a very heavy Celtic supporter, gets caught up in the Rangers crowd and gets funneled through to Rangers and ends up standing in the Rangers end of the football pitch with all these big Rangers fans all around him. Hey, all right, man. Hey, you be puffed up. Hey, that's the free man is just dying of death, and he's trying to tuck his Celtic scarf away, and he's trying to turn his collar up. And he ends up standing at the wrong end, and of course the football match goes underway, and his team, Celtic, score the first goal. And it's just, oh, fuck. What do I do now? And all these big people all around him go, see you. It's me, man, aye, what? He says, go get me a bovril. Now, bovril's a very famous, beefy cup of stock. You go away and get it. So there's no beer, obviously, allowed to inflame things, so he says, I'll go get you a bovril. Says, aye, well, you're not running away, leave your shoe. Says, oh no, leave my shoe. All right, okay. So he takes one shoe off, and off he trots to go and get cups of bovril for all the Rangers support. So he comes back and he goes, there you go, there's your bovril. And he goes, aye, well, there's your shoe. Meanwhile, someone's taking a jobby in his shoe. He goes, oh no. He says, aye, put it on. Oh no. Oh no. So he's standing there, people are clearing a bit of path around him because he's stinking. This wee bastard. And of course his team goes and scores another goal. No, no. Oh no. Says, aye, right, go and get another bovril, mate. Says, oh no, take your other shoe off. Oh no, not the other shoe. So he goes and gets the bovril. Comes back with the bovril, goes, there you go, boys. Aye, and there's your shoe. Another jobby. Oh no. Put it on. Oh no. Oh God. Humming. Ooh. Smell of jobbies everywhere. Oh no. Everyone's just cleared a path around, and the game, thank Christ, comes to an end. Says, right, see you, fuck off, go home. Aye, go on, get out of here, stinky bastard. You're right, baby. The miserable little bastard trots out the football field and off he goes. Anyway, the game's all over, people are dispersing, and the BBC, the famous BBC are there, going, oh, hello. Now, can I talk to the football fans round here about the troubles we're having with Celtic and Rangers and the Protestant Catholic problem? And of course, they pick on this wee poor bastard, slopping his way up the street with his jobby-filled shoes. He goes, oh, hello, Mr. Shuggy. Famous Scottish name. Mr. Shuggy, can you tell me, it's Jim here from the BBC, can you tell me, will we ever see an end to the violence, obviously between Celtic and Rangers? And the wee man looks up and grabs the microphone and goes, aye, I'll tell you about the fucking troubles between Celtic and Rangers. You'll never see an end to the Celtic Rangers problems, not while they're shitting in our shoes and we're pissing in their bovril. Anyway, I cannot take any credit for that. It is Billy Connolly, but it's one of the best long, drawn-out, protracted jokes you can.
You know, but I can tell stories as well, right? And sometimes I make them really nice, you know, like a picture with flowers around, and yeah. But it's always honest, you know, but make it a little bit more rich, you know.
I must have light, and I must have laughter, I must have humor, I must have friends, I must have people, and I'm like a moth to a flame when it comes to wanting to have people around me. I am drawn to groups having fun, or vice versa. Maybe someone says people are drawn to me because of the fun I have. Whatever way, it doesn't matter. I need to have that, and I must have that, because it's, you know, it's as vital as water to sustain life for me almost. I really do it, and I know that of me, I do. But that's not to say there aren't the serious and the hard and the tough, but in amongst it, that's fine. It's not my major part of my life. The major part of my life is probably fun.
Do you find yourself, like, because you're so buoyant and up and happy, that spreads to people that you're with, and so you'll visit people and spread your charm, you know, put them in a good mood and then leave after a while?
I'm not a social guy, you know. I like to be by my own a lot, you know, but I can be social, and when I'm social, I make the people laugh. I like to make the people laughing, and I'm a funny guy, you know. I think I'm funny, and I bring the sunshine in, you know, and that's my way to be with people.
So tell me about planning. What is it about the planning with the 7 fixation? How does the mind keep planning?
As you told you before, this year it's already planned. You know, I know how it works. You know, yeah, planning. I have to plan, you know. I have to see what's going on in the future, because then I'm relaxed, you know, when I do the plan for the couple months ahead. Sometimes, like I know now in this situation, I'm living in it at the moment. This year, it's planned already.
The planning bit, though, I do a lot of planning at work, so I have to. But in our lives, we never sit down and go, right, let's. Never have done. It was, you know, I suppose that goes back to when we lived overseas. We just took every day as it came. And I enjoy that. So hitchhiking is my analogy. I loved hitchhiking because you never knew how far the journey was going to take you. You never knew who you were going to get in the car. You never knew what kind of car. You never knew what kind of story the guy was going to tell you. It's really quite exciting getting you to hitching, because I just love the unknown. The fact that you just got in, you just didn't know if it's going to be a great ride all the way up to Berlin or to Paris, or just 10 miles off the road and dropped off in the piss and rain somewhere they didn't want to be. It didn't matter. It just, the whole journey was, and the people you met. So that's how I actually always use I use that in my life. That's why I actually enjoyed it. I wanted life to be like that. Of course it can't be.
Magical thinking, if I just think positive thoughts, everything will work out. Or if I just keep an upbeat, positive attitude, life will be okay.
Right. Yeah.
Have you had any of that sort of magical thinking in your life?
Magical thinking means positive thinking,
Mhm.
to get the life really well done. Right. I used this technique many years, when I was younger. And when I start on the spiritual path to get enlightenment and to waking up, in the morning I waked up and I was always singing, and I think, oh, this day it's beautiful. The sun is shining, the birds are singing their songs, and everything is so perfect. It's so beautiful. The Father in the sky or in the paradise, it's looking to me, and I'm, and I was singing, I really was, I was singing, and make the day happy and okay and beautiful, like a trance. I was putting myself into a trance. Yeah. But now, since I'm working with this Enneagram, it's not anymore the same. Something stopped. Sometimes it stops. Okay, now what I'm going to do? And I can see it's a habit, or it's the program. It's working to make me look around for something new, and then I can stop this, and take me back to the present. And when I'm back in this present, I experience peace and silence as well.
Nice. Yeah.
And that's all I've got for the sevens. Yes, only 2 interviews. I know, sevens are hard to pin down, so really, I'm lucky I got any. If you want classic 7 gurus, look no further than Timothy Leary and Ram Dass, the psychedelic pioneers, the cosmic adventurers, the let's try everything at least twice crowd. Sevens rarely stay with one spiritual scene for long. There's just too much to do, too many doors to open, too many possibilities sparkling in the distance. The fixation is driven by that familiar hallucination of FOMO and the sense of not being okay as they are. On the surface, they look like they're getting the most out of life, diving into every flavour, interest and experience. But underneath, being propelled by that restless, not okayness can be exhausting. Pity they don't realise that both the hunger to escape themselves and the compulsive skimming across life are just trances. Nothing solid, nothing real.
And now for the 8s. They might look friendly, but you can never quite forget that they've got a bite to them. Sense with the 8 fixation that you're innocent. That you're innocent and therefore others are to blame.
Oh,
really,
absolutely.
In any situation, you've been the innocent party.
Well, that might be the initial feeling, yeah, often. That's true.
And then that justifies vengeance.
Oh, absolutely.
I will blame, for sure. I will blame myself. I will blame other people. And it's only recently that I'll see that for what it is, and not run with it nearly as much as I would have once, for sure.
Do you find that it's very easy to blame? It's always someone else's fault?
Sure. Mostly it's my husband.
The fantasy is that if you have total control over everything, that then you would be powerful and competent.
Or you just get the job done right first time.
I'm really, and probably still am, not patient with someone who's not prepared to learn on the spot, because normally I am.
Yes, I don't suffer fools like that at all.
No.
No. I call a spade and use it.
Yes.
I don't have time for dealing with fools. Life's too short.
How does the competence work? Like, for the 8 fixation, is
Yeah.
the sense of, yes, I can do it.
Yeah, that is always there, really
Mhm,
always
mhm.
there. It's about everything, really
Mhm,
being competent about everything.
And you feel you are competent with everything? Like most things you could just take on and handle?
Yeah, yeah. That's the first impulse is, of course, no problem. It's actually very, very difficult for me not to try to take over leadership.
About the anger?
Oh, anger? Yeah. I really can say pissed by little tiny things. It's just a fly on the wall. It's for me, my husband said it like, you realize that it's my kind of motor, you know. If I'm be really angry, I can work fast. If I'm be really pissed, you know, it's like, yeah, that's my energy, that's my Shakti.
What's the most obvious trait of the 8 fixation for you?
Most obvious is the presence of anger and how quickly it pops up.
So is there a lot of anger in...
Well, no. It's, I think a lot of people had... I mean, it could look as though there's anger in my life, but essentially I can get angry in a split second and it's all over in seconds. And then, you know, it's nothing to me. I've moved on.
Right, and what about the people you've left in your wake?
Well, that's their problem.
When I was learning polo, and a lot of the people I was learning with in the polo school had been riding since they were young, so they were great riders. And I could trot, I could kind of canter, and I'd come off the horse and stuff, so I'd be screaming, you know, at myself, like expletives you wouldn't want to say in any way on camera. And the others, you know, the women were like, oh no, you know. And then, and I wouldn't really care much about people's reactions, but then I realized the horse wouldn't be able to know that I wasn't screaming at the horse. And they're such beautiful animals, very sensitive horses. So I stopped. I went to all the horses and I said, I'm so sorry, you know, for screaming at you. I didn't realize that you were taking it personally. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. So I didn't scream at them. But that didn't mean that I wasn't angry.
Is there a sense of, like, life's a battle, you have to fight or you lose?
Totally.
It's a jungle out there.
I very often ask Klaus, why is my life such a battle? I'm always fighting. I don't want it, but I always have to fight. During the time at home, I was fighting for getting lunch. Then I had to fight to get a place at the university. I had to fight to get a position. Now I'm fighting because I'm one of the very few female professors at the university, and there are only 4% in Germany in this position. So again, a nice surrounding for fighting.
I would never be weak. There would be like not a weak emotion, and it's still difficult for me to name them. You know, it's like, what is this? Is this like to be, you know, kind of sad or something? I don't like to be weak. I wanted to be tough, you know. I wanted to be, especially when I was like a teenager, you know. I tried to look cool, really tough. I was in fights a lot. I always was the bad girl at school.
I thought having this type of energy, it's natural and it's normal, and being punished for something like this, I never could understand.
Yeah. Was there always a sense that you were like treated like you were the bad one or the black sheep of the family?
Yes, I was definitely the bad sheep of the family and the bad girl.
I tried to not have problems.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was 11, 12, I almost killed 2 people just because I got so angry. And that made me very careful in my behavior. So I used to suppress the anger completely.
Was it painful trying to suppress it?
No, it was successful. So,
Eight fixation, there's a certain directness and bluntness.
Do you find that you're that way, that you're quite blunt and direct and get to what you want?
That's an issue that some people can't tolerate. Others appreciate it because they know exactly what they're getting and where you stand, but others just simply can't tolerate the bluntness. Because I mean, I think the point about it as well, that you might be saying things that are true that they don't want to admit to, and so therefore they don't like it, because it's you're bringing home some home truths that they're not actually happy with at all.
Right.
But I rather bluntly said my mind and argued with headmasters and things like that.
Were you the bad boy at school growing up, or?
No, I wasn't the bad boy, just that if I disagreed with him, I told him. And normally I was right. A certain self-belief, but I mean, just if things didn't seem to be right or fair, I'd say so.
Talking style? Yeah. Oh, I love sometimes really to use bad words, especially when it's not allowed. You know, it's like even in this esoterical, holy thing, I really like to use then really bad words. Yeah. Just to interrupt the holiness. Yeah. You know, it's like when I lived in a monastery for 2 years, you know, it was like nearly silence, a lot of meditation, you know, and I really like to interrupt these things, you know. Or I tried hard, but it didn't work. I couldn't do it.
Talking style of laying trips.
Yeah, laying trips. I have done this for a long time. Just, because I thought it's funny. And completely neglecting the fact that I was playing with people and they might have feelings. So it especially happens when I'm in stress, and as a defense mechanism. I use this very often as a defense mechanism. So push the people away from me, they don't come too close, and then I don't have to deal with them anymore.
And lust, is it like always, this is what I like, so more is better?
Yeah,
more work, more food.
More work. So most of the lust I see in work, so it's never ending. I can take all the work. So all is put in this direction. But I also see it a little bit in food. So when I have a break in my work, I'm looking around in the institute to find food. And when I have something, then I eat everything. Yeah. So there's no end.
When I open the bottle,
we empty the bottle.
We empty the bottle. And if there's another one in the cellar, we get that one too.
Yeah. And one piece of chocolate is not enough. If it's good, I just have to have the next and the next and the next.
This was during my time as a PhD student. I was on research vessels for several weeks, together with a lot of men, and I was drinking them under the table. They had no chance at all. So it was...
They can be quite a hedonist.
Quite a what?
Hedonist. Enjoy the good life, enjoy the good food. Like to eat and drink to excess. It's kind of like more is never enough.
No. Eat and drink to the normal is the others that eat and drink to small amounts.
Right. Okay. So that actually. The soft side of the eight, the one that gets misty-eyed and vulnerable, and
yeah, it's
even sentimental.
Yeah, it can get very sentimental, and yeah, so it's there's a feeling of gratefulness. That makes me cry immediately. The slightest negative feedback, and I feel rejected.
How come there seems to be so much easily to poke holes in other people, and yet such a sense of rejection?
Yeah, I'm just not aware of it. I'm just not aware of it.
It's about poking holes in people. That is actually just to avoid being rejected yourself. So you do to the others what you don't want them to do to you.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm.
Now to have seen through the veils and living not from fixation.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's I can still be very powerful, but it's not that I have to run over people. Not always, still I'm doing this, but yeah, just to be aware and also the way I speak, that I don't have to be so tough and, I can be gentle. And and I really can accept my husband in the way he is. That's a big thing. And also other people. It's more that I allow myself to be soft and gentle, and then, you can just really let the other people this way, and love them for the way they are. It's like it was more like I didn't love myself. I was so self-hated all the time, to cheat myself so badly that I did the same with everybody else. And I was still screaming that nobody would love me. God, who wants to love somebody who kicks in every butt? Yeah. But it's so amazing, full of love, to see everybody growing and to see the beauty in everybody. That's great.
So that was the 8. Their first trance is the sense of weakness, a feeling so intolerable that the psyche instantly compensates by swinging into power. And that swing creates the whole illusion of separation, me the strong one, and everything else that must not overpower me. Most people dislike their fixation once they see it. Not the 8s. They adore theirs. It's everyone around them who suffers. In spiritual circles, 8s can easily mistake their intensity for clarity or their force for enlightenment. Not all. Nisargadatta, for example, was fierce but unmistakably lucid. But many 8-style teachers create strict rules for their followers while quietly breaking those rules themselves. If you want 8 gurus, there's a list. Papaji, Sailor Bob, Chogyam Trungpa, Muktananda, Isaac Shapiro, big personalities, big presence. With a lot of gurus who are 8s, and even 9s, you can get a messiah complex with that convenient libido clause. 8s bring enormous life force, but when the fixation is running, that power gets mistaken for awakening, when really it's just another trance trying to outrun the fear of vulnerability. What do you want to tell me about the comfortableness of the 9? Like how important is it to be comfortable?
Well, that's like all important.
If the anger is really avoided, there is you just talk to yourself and say yourself, I am comfortable, and this is so. If you just go in this trance, in the end, you feel comfortable, although there sometimes arises anger. You just say, nothing happens, it's all nice. And then it really feels that you're comfortable, but maybe it's not like this. Maybe there is some anger underneath.
The comfort is more about not sticking out and not being so different. That's part of it. So in a group, the comfort thing is to hold back whatever it is that I want or might think, even if I most of the time don't even know what that is. But if I did, like everyone's going to go to a restaurant, or what restaurant do we want to go to? Well, 9 out of 10 times I would say Italian inside, but I won't say that outside. I'll just wait. I'll wait for the strong opinion to come up, and then we go with the strong opinion, and that feels comfortable. That feels like, okay, I can live with that.
So that actually feels better than you choosing Italian
Much
and
better.
everyone going off.
Yes,
to have
much
Italian.
better, because that would be incredible discomfort to choose what I want, and someone doesn't really want that, but they go along. So it's almost like I'd rather take the pain than give it to somebody else.
Comfortable, both physically, I like to have comfortable places to be, and emotionally, I think I prefer living in a place that doesn't have a lot of conflict. Conflict it just makes me uncomfortable.
Very upsetting when somebody else is upset. It's very upsetting when somebody else is aggravated. And it really has to do, not with them, it has to do with me and my comfort and, is everybody okay? And is everybody, there's really a quality of, wanting to keep it together, wanting to keep it whole.
I mean, does mess pile up around you?
That's only because I'm now picturing, as soon as somebody says that, I picture my office. And it's, in my current house, it's the one place where the piles upon piles upon piles and the, stacks of things that I've collected over how many years now, I don't know, it is a mess. Although I used to say, I know where everything is, I know all these piles. By now, it's like beyond me. It's like, and of course that's the office. Now then, some of the rest of the rooms in my house can be, fairly neat until I start to pile things up there. And the basement is like the junk pile, cartons upon cartons that I've been carrying around with me forever. And then there's the attic.
I'll probably do a number of different things before I tidy up my desk. I kind of like my desk piled up. It's organized. I know where things are. I don't like it when other people tidy up my desk at all. Then I can't find anything. So it's sort of organized chaos in my desk.
Do you find that you might start one job and then do 2% of that job and then go and start something else and do 2% of that job and then go to something else?
Well, I consider it multitasking. Mostly. My mind is much too busy to just complete one task without starting another.
Right.
So I have to have 2 or 3 things to do all the time to keep myself busy with that, with those chores. Sometimes I like to find 4 or 5 other things to do, and I don't have to actually complete the first one. Like tidy up my desk.
So they say the passion of the 9 fixation is laziness. How does that work? Do you find, or indolence, laziness and indolence? How does that work?
Lying in bed, looking TV. Loving to sleep.
Yeah.
Just to avoid the really important things in life. And then everything can be used for this.
They say with a 9 that they avoid the essential. Do you feel that you've done that in the past? Just anesthetized yourself somehow? And
Yeah, I mean, now I kind of notice it much more. But sure, I mean, I will get distracted by every other thing in my life but what it is that's kind of I'm supposed to do. Like if there's a task to be done, if there's, it's like at work too, it was that way. If there's a task to be done that was really important, I would just, it wouldn't be, I don't know. I used to say I was just a procrastinator, but it's worse than that, because it's like everything that I'll look at around me will kind of pull me to do that before doing what's, like the essential thing. And for a lot of people around me, that's like, I've been described as, you know, molasses or Mr. Magoo.
What about the self-narcotization?
Everything can be turned into a drug. And everything, you know, it can be food, espresso, for example. And then it's not like 2 or 3 espressos, but it can be like 7 or 8 espressos per day, easily, or even more. TV, zapping, so fast that you really can't follow, so it gets you in a kind of, you know, narcotization. Music, I can use music as a narcotization. What's so clear is that everything is used extensively.
How does the self-narcotization, or how did it work for you? Was there like drinking, overeating?
Eating, overeating. If you eat a lot, you get dizzy, you know. Also looking TV, I think, and alcohol. But mostly I would really say it's just this thought. What I recognized, one of the most essential thought is that I cannot hate, you know. I am a loving person. Yeah. So this, in a way, I saw that this thought was repeated and repeated. That this was the most narcotizing thing.
Well, what I'll say in this moment is that what it feels like is there's this quality of focus on the other, you know, on who I'm with or who I'm engaging with, who I'm having a relationship with, who I'm working with. There's this enormous outward focus. And my experience is when I'm narcotizing, that really is the shutting off of that. There's some relief in being alone or passively watching television or eating a meal. There's this capacity then to disconnect. And in my experience, it's disconnecting from other people. You know, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but it's at least imagining that I'm disconnecting in a particular way and resting.
Talking style and saga, do you find that you can do that just like it?
Yes. That occurs if I think that somebody should understand things really from the very first point. So really, you know, you can follow my way of thinking to understand why this should be, and then you need all the details really to understand.
Often when I tell a story, I can get into enormous detail or move off into really tangential parts of a story because I feel like I'm trying to tell the whole story and create a whole picture. So yeah, it can really start to sound like a saga, and there's this real interest and fascination with the detail, and actually imagining that other people are fascinated with that detail as well, but they're not. So, you know, that's part of the saga style, is there's something very big happening. You know, there's something larger than life, you know.
Do you find that you can like speak for like long periods?
No, actually not.
The talking style that you brought up before, like I'm feeling like, oh, Bill's going on, and you know, it's hard to break into that sort of, and you were saying before that you weren't really aware of that, but other people tell you.
Gail's letting you know now on camera.
Yeah.
In part, it is that I used to never be able to tolerate silence. You know, like I would have to fill the air with something to say and could continue to talk until I thought somebody was going to say something, and then even then, if they stopped, I would just have to continue to, you know, fill the air again with something. But on the other hand, it's also partly that whole distraction thing, or it's that, you know, like one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another, and you know, by the time all these, like, it's like stream of consciousness kind of thing where, you know, I'm so, it's like I'm almost like I'm so interested in so many things, and I do want to, you know, somehow it's not that I want to impress the other person. It's almost like, I mean, I've said this before, I'm very entertained by myself. Like, I think I'm the most interesting person and entertainer there is. And that's been part of my, you know, how I get love, is to be, you know, likable, lovable, interesting. So, you know, like, I'll just keep throwing it out. And I'm not always aware, you know, even if the other person starts to glaze over, well, you know, I'm entertained by it. So, you know, if they're not interested anymore, so what? This wasn't necessarily for them anyway.
Did you always feel that there was some part of you that was unlovable and so had to sort of...
Well, it would be easier to say that I've never felt that there was some part of me that was lovable. It's actually, you know, that everything is unlovable.
Yeah.
And so there's been this continuous effort to try to make some small thing lovable enough.
Oh, right.
I mean, basically everything is unlovable about. And so it's always grating against that. It's like Sisyphus pushing the rock up, you know, of if I could just get to the top just for a second and someone sees something that they like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is it now that you've seen through the veils, the nine fixation and...
Well, you know, seeing through the veil is it's finally this self-love.
Yeah.
Because there's this, you know, this self-acceptance, so that it's no longer really about trying to change yourself to fit into one subculture or another subculture, or some group or another group. You know, there's this moment where you stop adapting and stop trying to please and stop trying to make it all go smooth. There's just something that's open to what is. And there's this capacity then to see this, because the love is enormous. The love is huge. It's also immovable. And there's this capacity then for this profound love and compassion for all things, which at the core, you know, there's this, you know, in fixation you might call it tolerance, you know, but in reality, when you start seeing through the veils, there's just this love for all things, great and small, good and bad, you know, that just has such a deep appreciation and love. And that's the love of the self, finally. That's what appeared as other, what appeared as self, it's all the same. And that's really what's so remarkable.
So that's the 9 of the Enneagram. When the fixation drops, what remains is simple being, a quiet, effortless love. It's beautiful. At the core of the 9 is nothingness and love. So when a guru or teacher with a 9 fixation wakes up or even just has a moment where their sense of self falls away, they naturally present the truth as love and nothingness. That's the language of their nervous system. People often look at 9s even before any spiritual event and wonder, is anyone there? So when they finally have a spiritual experience, of course they're the ones saying, there's no one here. And while I genuinely love the radical non-duality message, it's interesting that its main voices are all 9s. Tony Parsons, Jim Newman, Andreas Müller, and a whole lineup of others. They all repeat Tony Parsons' phrasing almost verbatim, because for them, that is the truth. That's the only expression that feels real. Others go to their meetings trying desperately to experience no one home, imagining that if they just delete themselves hard enough, awakening will occur. Look, taken far enough, I actually agree with what radical non-duality points to, but the issue is that they speak as though the 9 lens is the only lens. When everything is wholeness, that wholeness includes all the expressions, not just the 9's version. No brain can see through a veil when there is no separate veil other than itself. Yet many 9s declare, there's no one here, therefore that's the truth. But that's no different from a 1 saying, there is good and bad, I feel it, therefore it's true. In the end, there is no truth. No human has the apparatus to know it. Everything we say comes through one of these 9 lenses. If I had to offer a word, maybe I'd say aliveness. But honestly, don't listen to me. My expression is also coming through one of these lenses. So bizarrely, after this entire documentary, I hope I leave you with nothing. And we're not finished. I'm putting this all together as one glorious job lot, and following this are some animations that highlight each lens. The habits, the addictions, the way we dream our way into separation. Bottom line, if this has been too oblique, there is no one, only temporary trances. I wrote a book a long time ago. It puts the Enneagram and trances into cartoon. You can get it from my site. Sylvia is addicted to cleaning and is trying to stop her compulsive behaviour. Oh. Lisbeth is addicted to flattering anyone she meets and is trying to stop herself. You look lovely. Wilma is trying to understand the concept of not having goals, but she has an idea. She could write a book about her experience, make a lot of money, go on the speaking circuit, and then be invited on the Oprah show. Wilma likes this idea of no goals. Gwendolyn has decided to not be so emotional, but she's just been served a bottle of Chateau Margaux. This reminds her of a happy time in France, and Gwendolyn is ecstatic. Then she reads the year on the bottle. 2007 was a very sad year for Gwendolyn. Leonard is addicted to knowledge, and he's trying to not Google more facts. But Leonard's just had a thought. Susie's attempting to not always imagine scary scenarios. But there is a noise, and there could be an ex-murderer at the door. Norma is addicted to adventure. She's trying to ignore her itching feet and the inspiring brochure in her hand. She could stay at home and have a quiet cup of tea.
A travel agency here, how can I help you?
Rosalind is addicted to blaming everyone for her troubles.
Stupid cop!
This includes inanimate objects. Barry is addicted to avoiding the essential things in life. He does this by not avoiding television. Here are Evelyn and Ernest without any filters. But let's have a look at them through the filter of the one fixation.
It's just really being, and it's all about love. Then there's nothing to seek. There's nothing at all that I have to do.
To not have the six, like
Oh, it's such a relief in recognizing that's not what I am.
Well, it's empowering to begin to understand the part of you that operates on a level that you don't control.
I really enjoy meeting people, outside of ourselves, outside of our fixations. And it seems like such a simple thing, and it's happened so much on this retreat it's such a great desired place to be. So I really enjoy that. Yeah.
There's life and peace in there, and
and it's just such a relaxation. I keep getting this kind of image of a tree standing there being bathed in the wind that's blowing over its leaves, and that's how it kind of feels without any care. It's just sitting there, kind of, just taking whatever's sort of coming along and enjoying whatever, whether it's rain or sun or wind or what have you. And that's how it feels like, which is so alien to a 6 to feel that way.
And he is a warm 6. I got my warm 6 dog.
Well, that's it. You know more about the Enneagram than most. How trances are a part of everything. How humans make up their version of enlightenment and call it truth. May this leave you with what is, and turning off this YouTube video and seeing the miracle of life, the absurdity of the human with a supposed brain that separates itself out from everything else and then creates an illusion of who that self is. And normally, it makes itself out to be very important indeed. But close up this video and no need to rush to my site or subscribe. Nature is it, and it includes everything. And take note, there is no authority anywhere, just indefinable activity.